Hello YouTube and welcome back to the channel here today, or if it's your first time here, welcome to the channel here today. Today we're reacting to another movie in our list of movies that we've been doing. This one's called Redline, and I believe it's from about 2011, 2012, something like that. 2009, excuse me. My mistake. Either way, very excited to be here continuing with the movies. So again, for the uninitiated, very recently I chose to do 5 films in a row on the channel. I'm 3 films into that cycle. I have 1 more to go after this. This is the 4th movie by elimination, and that is Redline. Cue the wheel. This is the wheel that I spun. The last one will happen next week. It'll be Millennium Actress, of course. And yeah, before this point, went through and did Angel's Egg, the OVA there, as well as Wolf Children and Pompo the Cinephile. And yeah, looking to do a pretty similar format here today. We're going to be going into this thing first and foremost, looking at the staff, potentially a few predictions based on the poster, and then diving into this sucker. We're going to watch it here today. I may return tomorrow, or even the next day, and discuss it in a little bit more detail, considering I'm a little bit busy over the next little bit, I guess. But I should get up what I have on screen, because it is the ANN page, my favorite website in the world, so we can have a little bit of a squiz at the staff that worked on this thing. Okay, let's start with number 1, numero uno, the director, that is Takeshi Koike. Rightio, so seemingly a random detail, he got hired by Madhouse. I'm gonna imagine, is this thing Madhouse? Let's have a look. Animation production. Production by Madhouse, yes, you would imagine that would be the case. Cool, cool, cool. We'll have a look at Madhouse here in a moment as well. Again, it seems like a look at Madhouse and their extensive resume like twice a year here at this point, but yeah, Madhouse is good. Water is also wet, by the way. So from that perspective, I'm going to imagine that we're going to see a fair few Madhouse productions, if I can spot them. Not particularly good at this kind of stuff sometimes. First and foremost, I spot 3, 4 Lupin the Third films. Yeah, all of which I'm not particularly familiar with, but hey, it's a massive franchise, especially in Japan, so I'm going to imagine those things are good. Lupin the Third films have a long history of being quite excellent, so sure. What is Iron Man TV? What is this? What? When was there an Iron Man anime? Who the hell made this thing? No, I don't have the time to go into weird fucking stuff. Madhouse made an Iron Man anime? What the fuck? Anyway, get me out of here. Odd, sure. If we're looking at the path into direction here, it seems like it's a lot of animation direction, so again, I know scarce things about Redline, but I would imagine it's a little bit more of an animation-y movie. I'll get into it when I look at the key visual, but it seems like, in one phrase, let's say indebted to the classics. But yeah, not that much full-on director work, I guess I would say. How old is bro? No, he's in his 50s. Okay, sure. I may be missing something here. It's entirely likely that I am. But the most recent thing that I've seen that he's worked on is Dororo 2019. Obviously not the really old one. I love the opening for that though, so if he's directing the opening, then that opening's fantastic. I love it, so sure. I guess I was hoping to see a better lineage, but I don't really see it at the moment for what I think Redline is about, which is guy in car. I thought I'd see a lot more like guy in car things, like Initial D or something, but that doesn't seem to be the case. We have 3 writers on this film in the script department. I'm zeroing in on one in particular. That is one Yoji Animiddo. Of course, again, it seems like I look at this guy all the fucking time. But this here is potentially the best shit ever. I'm coming around to that shit being potentially the best shit ever. So if he's worked on the best shit ever, and this is after the point where he's worked on the best shit ever, it might be pretty good. It might be pretty good, guys. Very quietly, excited for this too. Very, very quietly. But yeah, we'll get there when we get there. Obviously work on Evangelion, Sailor Moon, Bungo Stray Dogs, lots more Evangelion, Fully Cooley. Yeah, Yoji Animiddo, ladies and gentlemen, he's extremely good. We have Katsuhito Ishii, who seemed to work with the director on a lot of the Lupin the Third stuff. So yeah, look into that wherever you will. Yeah, very, very close on this film in particular, working on character design, original creator, sound directing, like a fuck ton of shit. Machine design, which is an interesting credit actually. May talk to what the film's about as well. And the third writer there is Yoshiki Sakurai, who, yeah, there's a bit of stuff here. Mostly looking at this Ghost in the Shell stuff, 2000s, the 2000s stuff it seems like, which is very, very well regarded, especially from a script point of view. Do I have much else for you on this guy? Hosoda thanked him twice, so that's something. Other than that, I'm guessing this is pretty important too. Seems like there's a bit of Gynax going on here, at least a little bit of Evangelion. I don't know if that's much Gynax anymore as anything else, but yeah, I mean, pretty cool. Koike also did the storyboarding, or a lot of the storyboarding, as well as unit direction, so interesting. I didn't think that this was how unit direction and direction worked, but what do I know? Similarly, here we went into Ishii previously. Original creator. Does this mean that this is an adaptation? No, it says based on an original story by Ishii. So I'm imagining that you write the story and then immediately turn it into a film. I'm wondering how that works. I'm guessing you didn't publish a story and then adapt it off of that material. You would make the story and then make it into a movie, which is an interesting way to phrase that. Music here by James Shimoji, or James, I guess, if you wanted to. I'm pretty sure it's James, we'll say. Which is, again, the lineage here seems to be pretty squarely in this Lupin the Third stuff, sure. And last person we'll look at here today is Yuko Kabari, who is the just art, not art director, but you can probably squint and say art director, I guess. Or potentially I'm overstepping, because it seems like this has generally been a lot of color work. So I'm seeing a couple of really cool credits here for sure, especially with regards to color, and seems to be actively still in the industry. I'm looking here, I see The Colors Within, Kimi no Iro, which is Yamada's latest film, which I haven't seen yet. Would like to see at some point. Garden of Remembrance, which I can see right now, I just haven't, so maybe I should check that out at some point, potentially even on the channel. Inu O as well, which is Yuasa's thing with Science Saru recently as well. As well as looking here, we have Space Dandy, a lot of color in that show for sure. Skip and Loafer, colorful, very, very colorful, especially in that opening for sure. Ancient Magus Bride, the aforementioned Dororo, especially the opening, so that's another link between the staff there as well. And of course, The Great Pretender. Yeah, color design on The Great Pretender, another amazingly fantastically colored show. This person seems fucking good. Okay, so expect good colors. Again, there's the other one there, working on a Lupin the Third film. So that seems to be that main point of lineage, I guess. One Punch Man has great colors too. This should be a treat. This should be a treat for the eyes. So I know I just spoke about this and not probably needing to do this, but Madhouse is good, so I like going through it. Good's an understatement. This is actually ridiculously fucked. So not only do we have Freerun over here, excellent, reacted to on the channel, of course. Hunter x Hunter, Monster, Nana, Hajime no Ippo, Place Further Than the Universe, Tatami Galaxy, also on the channel. Perfect Blue, also on the channel. Chihaya Furu, which is fantastic as well. Beck, Tokyo Godfathers, Hellsing, Redline, Kaiji, Trigun, Kaiba, The Go Who Leapt Through Time. It's actually fucked up. This is fucked up how good everything here is. This is all the stuff that's still an 8. That is all the stuff that is still an 8 on Mal. That's fucked. Overlord's kind of fun too. I don't know. I rate it. Didn't like this very much, but that's neither here nor there. Madhouse, good. That's what I wanted to get across. Let's get this poster up and then we can actually start watching this thing. There we go. I think that'll do for a poster. This was the visual that I wanted. This is the one that I've seen mostly associated with the picture. Redline should not be missed. Harry Knowles. Who the fuck is Harry Knowles? I don't know. Maybe Beyonce's brother. Anyway, bad jokes aside, we've got man. He is in car. Car looks like car? No, car looks like, what's the word? Not steampunky. A little bit like grimy and dirty. It's like Cowboy Bebop futury, if that makes any sense. The word's escaping me, but that kind of vibe. And he's got the world's largest pompadour, JoJo tier pompadour, that is just sticking out like a sore thumb. Reminds me of Space Dandy as well, the main character design there. I think he's called Dandy? I don't know. Reminding me a lot of that kind of stuff. Again, very much indebted to the classics with this kind of hairstyle and this kind of sci-fi aesthetic, I guess you would say. So if he's in a car, and what is this poster emphasizing if not speed, I'm going to imagine there's some kind of race, potentially trying to cross a red line to win. Something to that effect, maybe. Now, historically, the pompadour has been associated with Yakuza-type characters as well, so maybe a little bit more of a bad boy. Maybe. But again, neither here nor there. I'm guessing he's the protagonist, and you wouldn't really have like a genuine bad guy. Anti-hero vibes, maybe, I guess is the point. And already I glazed the color person. They're making good color things. I should get a name so I'm not being ignorant. Kobari is the name there. I know it's not framed well. Shut up. Yeah, colors are fantastic. But lo and behold, I am running short on time, so I should shout at the patrons, and then we'll dive into this thing. It's like an hour and 40 long, about there. Very funny after watching Pompo the Cinephile last week, considering kind of runtime and all this stuff as well. Very, very funny. So there is but one film left on our list of films to watch. That film will be Millennium Actress. If you're watching this publicly, you can access the Patreon in the description below. For $6, you can watch me watch Millennium Actress if it's your most favorite movie in the world as well. Just putting it out there. Many people have done that, up to and including Mickey Babbers, Charles++, Backslash, Bananarama Hamadama-sama, Bobbin, Churbaribby, Dapper Dwarf, Domobot, Ed, Fancy Question Mark, Fleur Nightingale, Fruit, Gloriana Tenebrae, Glyke, Greybeard, Gus N, Ika, Ice, Iria, Yaku Yavanen, Jacob R, Joran, Kelvin, Clem, Nosta, Cot Begemot, Lick H, Lou, Master Detective, Mistake L Chen, Molly Weinberger, Mr. Maniacs, Parnik, Pencil Sharp 333, Ragashingo, Ronlad B&K, St. Lily, Sal, Sam1373, Skeleton, Fueko, Without a Net, Yuankai Shu, Yuki Ali, Zach, Akomancer, Binshi, Hans Peter, Marsh, Voodoo Chili, Ichu, Koichi Kaito, Matthew Bratcher, Need, and Rantiki. Thank you to everybody for giving me money. I enjoy the money. Let's dive in here. Not sure what to expect, but we're going to be sitting down for about 100 minutes regardless. Let's be wowed. Corke. Madhouse. Let's dive in here. Redline, let's go. I just noticed I was wearing a red shirt too, so maybe it was meant to be. But I've got Redline up there. 1 hour, 42 minutes and 8 seconds on this one. Sync up accordingly with your own copy. Which copy do you have, you ask? Well, my friend, I can answer that question right over here. It's the Beatrice Raws. My audio is going to be the Japanese 5.1 surround sound, not the FLAC. I don't know, just not feeling it. And yeah, just going to do it with English subtitles. I'm imagining this is a Blu-ray rip, should be very, very similar to the official stuff that's out there on the Blu-ray for this film. At any rate, there will be a picture-in-picture version in the description below for those that are interested in it, because it takes away the stress. Either way, let's give this thing a 3, 2, 1. Radio? 3, 2, 1, go. I'm not getting audio, which is scaring me. TFC. We're going to give it some time. Madhouse. Still no audio. Red. Red Madhouse. In the far distant future, when cars are being replaced by hover cars, there are fools who carry on, racing with a vanishing spirit. The long, long pass. Peanuts? Dog. Why dog? Okay, Redline seems to be an event, I guess. Sonshi? Blue Line? These guys are hella gambling. Whoa, I like the animation there. Whoa. That looked awesome. Oh. Where are they? Yeah, they seem to be coming at a rapid rate of knots. As somebody who has attended motor vehicle races before, that's definitely the vibe. Sonoshi? McLaren? Guy in the back has a T for a head. Okay, the law is crazy. So many nouns. I'm just trying to gather it all. I'll get used to it, I'm sure. I have my money on JP. He popped a pill into his car? Yeah. It's the poster, baby. Is his car smaller than everybody's? Kind of. JP's Trans Am. Transom? Oh, that looked awesome. I mean, all of it looks awesome. Let's be real. Very, graphic novel-y in a really cool way. Yo. Jet Set Radio vibes. I don't like this captain guy. I'm off him. I like her. Green hair? My kind of thing. Let's turn it down ever so slightly so I can hear myself think. Oh. Oh. Something going on there. That was almost CG. Very weird motion on it. Keikakudori? I think he's gonna win then. This is disgusting too. You sure? Oh. Well, that's a way to make sure. That'll do it. Okay, seems like there's a criminal underbelly to this kind of thing that wants to manipulate results. Fair enough. It's like real racing. Can you do that? So it converted into a hover car. Or something like that, right? Why are they playing Mario Kart? Point being, there was a delineation made between hover cars and real cars. Which very early in the movie, you're probably trying to say something with that. Something subtextually about, respecting the classics and that kind of thing. This is just sick, though. I don't know. This could be the whole movie. Like, them just racing. And there comes the soundtrack back again. Holy fuck. This is demented. Hell yeah. Are you two the only two left? Con Frisbee. Sweet JP. What do you mean by that? I wonder what the translation is there. I don't think it's a friendship. He's supremely confident, my man Frisbee. Don't tell all the dogs in the show about a character called Frisbee, they'll go insane. A lot of things are going through my mind right now. Maybe like a speed racer as well. Even the live action adaptation from the Wachowskis. Mad Max, kind of. In a weird way, I've got Adolescence of Utana in there as well. And we shan't forget the pod racing from Phantom Menace. Well, I mean, that'll do it. I was waiting for the, yeah, for something like this to occur based on the setup. Well, now, what if he crosses the line first? I didn't see. Okay, seems like, yeah, no. That's an L, unfortunately. We're going to need to find some other way to compete in Redline, apparently, because it seems like this was Yellow Line. Because there was a yellow line. Opening? The soundtrack's fucking cool. This whole thing is just fucking awesome. Oh, it's the Redline. Maybe I gotta watch some of these, Lupin the Third type things. Thank you. Clearly, a bit of a Western audience too. A lot of English on screen. Okay, flashback. Shiny car. Beautiful ladies. Wow. Seems like a discussion of class. Alligator shoes. Oh, with the splits? Okay. But you're left on the outer after being beaten up. Interesting. So for right now, it seems like your motivation is broadly money and women. Which, fair enough, but like... Yeah, back to reality, huh? Oh, I'm loving this. I'm so excited. Somebody else is excited too. Yeah. Seems like you two had a moment in the cars there before, though. And this Frisbee guy is a bit of a scumbag, no? Because he's the one that planted the bomb. He's got the alligator shoes, too. Yeah. Colors are fucking good. He's got clown shoes. With your bondsman. I disagree. I feel like you're manipulating him. What is happening? Whoa, why is he going to Redline? What? Huh. Okay. JP's in. Very video gamey, player one, player two. What the fuck is Robo World? Okay, let's do the race somewhere else then. Oh, fantastic. Oh, because it's in Robo World. Political reasons. Popularity poll. Yeah. Yeah. Well, of course he's gonna go. Yes, JP. What the fuck am I looking at? What the fuck? What was that? What was any of that? Okay. Now, the question here is obviously going to be, how does Frisbee react? Mm-hmm. M. Bison? Alright, let's go to Robo World, everybody. Oh, this evil fucker. So this is like a rogue race that we're putting on. Exposition is gonna exposition. This guy's a fruity as hell. I am the law. Sure. I don't think this guy's a good guy. This is aping from like 15 different sci-fi movies, by the way. Like, those guys were very Dune, but now that we're on the Earth, it's... Well, not on the Earth, on the ground floor. It's very Star Warsy. Don't listen to these little freaks. Kill it, clap and crush its head. I'd beat the fuck out of them. Oh, he ruined it. Alright, this all seems very shady. This guy's a little freak. That symbol up the top's very interesting too. What is happening on this place? Steely stuff. Okay. On that bit of the hoverback type shit. Who the hell is Teeth? Bone Teeth. A little bit of a scrawny guy. Yeah. Flotsam? I could use more smokes. And money. Oh, so maybe they used to be on better terms. I'm gonna go shut my door. I'll be 2 seconds. So where's the Transam? Transam? I don't know. Ingrate. Oh, so use nitro twice. Whoa, what? You can't do 3. Everyone knows that. Why does this guy have 6 arms? Well, on this planet... Sweet JP. It's a death race, gotcha. But I don't think he's like that. Unless he's killing the robo guys. What happened? He just got off or something. You're right, though. Arms guy's fucking on a level right now. He knows what he's talking about. Yeah, because he's gotten in with a bad crowd, and basically he's betting against you or something like that. Hmm. I'm day one Frisbee hater, by the way. So did JP know that they were throwing? I don't think he did in the first race, right? Okay. I think he's pretty cool. He's basically genetically engineered in a lab to be cool. Like that bike. That bike's cool too. It's about to say it's time for you to show back up. Sono something. Sonoshi? Something like that. And yeah, we're definitely going for a Yakuza thing for sure. With the knife, right? Zoidberg's a little bit sweet on you, I think. Zoidberg's gone crazy. Yeah, why is it? Ew. I just want a fucking hamburger. Yes. Check you out. Engine otaku? Wife. My wife. I don't care about your dad. The hell's a steam light? Okay, necklace important. Oh. What the hell? Okay, so that's a setup. Who the fuck is... It's the Thing. Hello, Shinkai. More for you. This guy's based. Okay, who asked? Which one's Trevor? The one who's beaten up. He's cool. I like his ears. What? I see, yeah. Look at these fucking gang of freaks. The character designs are so funny. They're so out there. I was about to say, don't fucking hit him in the nuts. That'd be bad. Alright, what was on the other side there? What did he bounce off of? Yeah. Whose muscles? We're meeting the gang? Tetsuzin. This guy's so cool. Don't get the Giga Chad mad. What the hell just happened? Okay, what crashed into us? Oasis. 2 days is going to be the day. Are these the Robo dudes? Stormtrooper had us. It's just Stormtroopers. That's so funny. Yeah. Bro, I wanted to see more of the cool Tetsuzin. He's fucking awesome. Ototo? He's so cool. He's so cool. That's crazy. He has his personal smoke guy. Good targets. JP. This guy's like Robo Pompadour too. Yeah, what was the big plan? I don't know. Is some of this CG? Some of the movement looks CG sometimes. I'm curious about all the animation involved here. Try to be a cool guy, huh? That's what they call you. Cherry Boy Hunter and Sweet JP. What, race? I live my life a quarter mile at a time. Okay, good night. Yeah, but why? Why'd she do that then? Why did she drop off the earring? I thought that was an excuse to get her to go inside. And now we're getting some origins here. And then she did. Interesting. So then that ties into JP's motivation somewhat too as well. Interesting. So at first part of his motivation, yeah, it was to get into it for the money, the power, the ladies, that kind of thing. But maybe he sees this as kind of inspirational now too. Yeah. I don't think she does remember, but you certainly do. Interesting. And that's like a seems to be a core part of your motivation. Notably, Frisbee was there too. What did he do to you? That's kind of crazy. I say we take the shot. Of course he is. He's putting it all on the line. Damn. This old guy's getting the fucking raw end of the stick. Raw deal. So cute. 2 days until Redline. And your fucking vehicle isn't even ready. That's why we're here, and we didn't even have a car. Who the hell's Anuki? Some meta dog? Potato chip. That implies that JP knew the entire time. Interesting. Dude, this is so fucking grimy. I love it. Interesting. So it's going to be a conflict of, okay, you're going to race for money or race for the pride of racing, which again seems like JP's two major motivations at the moment. Who the fuck? Is this the Robo dudes? Okay, so the Robo dudes are hella hating on gambling. Okay, fair enough. Okay, interesting. It's just tits too. Okay, why not? Sometimes you just let it all hang out. Okay, this guy's like Lightning McQueen, like fucking Cars, like that one guy. He's so based. Where's Chick Hicks? I like the little dog too. Bit of regality to it. Were they not in the flashback with JB's? And they've got their kits off too. Why not? What's the movie Fatal Attraction? Yeah. What's your shtick? What kind of faces? Okay. I think you have a future on a certain website in current year, but that's neither here nor there. Ah! Okay, you guys are not gonna win, but sure. You guys are very funny. And here's their new single. They're just superheroes. The Mad Brothers, Lynchman and John Boyega, what was his name? Yeah, there you go. I like this as a setup for all the fucking dudes we're gonna see. Or maybe super villains. Alright, so all these guys are fucking sellouts. That's kind of the thing that's kind of linking them all together a little bit. This is Redline Eve. It's like it's fucking Christmas. Again, I'm just looking for the theme. I'm looking for what we're going to try to say here. It's about the passion, not the money. Okay, this thing looks pretty fucking wild. Take it up to her. See what she's up to. What the hell just happened? Okay. Well, that's probably not great for, Frisbee. Okay. Mickey and Todoroki. Wait, the policeman's in it too? Why is the police guy in it? Why? Is she your partner? Everyone's fucking horny as hell on this shit. Okay, so there's some rivalry there, true. They've got terrible hair too. Just terrible. This thing looks fucked up. I wouldn't want to drive this. Okay. Fireworks? That or they're firing missiles at our direct location. Everyone's fucking gremlining out over here. What is happening here? So how does this link into anything? Yeah, I'm not fighting these police robots, dude. They seem fucked up. Oh, hang on. Chat, we won? AI? Current year? Okay, watch out for the hyper disintegrator cannon. Wait, what are these two freaks doing? It's all about the betting, baby. Okay, so these two little freaks are gonna make sure that the race can actually happen. These ones are the superhero guys. One of them looks like a Beavis End or Butthead. This thing's also flesh. Are we going to talk about that, or? It's crazy that the fucking news is just reporting on this too. Dropped off the earring, right? Oh, that's cute. What does it say? He really is sweet, JP. So again, again, to my knowledge, the earring was almost like an invitation inside, and then he still doesn't take it. Well, why doesn't she remember you then? Well, that's beautiful. I like the flowers too. Sure. Is that a banana? No, it's a like a bok choy or something. Never mind. Interesting. So again, JP is just known for fixing races now. Interesting. Redline, the final day. Who the fuck is the Wicked Wizard Princess? The law's crazy. I think he's gonna do just fine. Where are we? Yeah, I thought we were getting to about the hour mark. I'm very surprised we've almost lacked an action scene since the opener, right? Yeah, that's a lie. There was the fight in the restaurant and whatever. What the fuck? The music's cool though. Sure. Whatever you say. So it's these two freaks. Thank you, Hime-sama. Ooh, I love the lights. Okay, so she's questioning him because she thinks that he might be race fixing, even now. Well, I mean, you guys violated the demilitarized zone, so... Well, I'm pretty sure the cannons aren't working at the moment. Whoa, that's cool looking, though. Feet? Why? Alright, Frisbee, what's going on, buddy? We're looking to make money, or are we actually racing? Okay, Winston from Overwatch. These two little freaks that hate the cops. The superhero guys that hopefully dealt with the disintegrator. This guy who's fucking so cool. He's so cool. Oh my god. And then there's those two freaks from before too. Hopefully it doesn't kill us all and disintegrate us. That would be bad. Hopefully they don't all die. I'm gonna imagine they don't. The sci-fi here is really cool, though. Seems like a big old pile of nothing. There you go. Why not check them? Anyway. Okay, the music's starting. Let's go. So it is crazy that they're just like rogue racing around this fucking place. And they drop out of the sky like fucking Fortnite? We love the Redline theme. Oh, that was good. Is there a Redline video game? I'd love for there to be a Redline video game. Put it all on JP, buddy. Well, how can you talk? Look at you. Minerva Hannes. Shoot on sight. That guy's so fun too. I feel like I've seen that guy a million times before and stuff too. Ew, I don't like that at all. Yeah, there's this real like flesh robot stuff going on like visual wise, right? That and the cannons. It's like this cyborgy sci-fi concept, I guess. Right, how long's this race gonna be then? Yeah, there's still got time. Good half hour. Maybe like shit, couple minutes a wrap up at the end. Open fucking fire. Honestly, why even race here then? Boinka. Her fucking car can do anything. Sonoshi? Oh, look at the freaks. Alright, where's JP in all of this? Those are these two freaks that had the mate in the restaurant, right? Yeah. Trava and whatever. Zoidberg and co. No, Zoidberg was the waiter. Anyway. This guy's so funny. I love the fucking Pompadour guy. The Pompadour cyborg. This guy's so evil. Okay, what does that mean? Oh. Funky boy? Funky boy's in the womb. What are the cat buttons? So I feel like I've really missed the boat on Sonoshi. I've never heard of this character before, but she's fucking unbelievably beautiful. Where have you been all my life? Really cool character design, obviously, too. We love Lynchmen. These two fucking superhero freaks. Where's my boy JP? Oh, interesting. So that's the friend, right? Who's part of the military. Yeah. Tetsu's in too. I want to see that guy. It's so good. Feet. Remember, this thing can take 3 nitro. We set that up. And don't forget the necklace, too. Sonoshi's necklace. Holy shit. How is he not dead? Here we go. Interesting. They were doing this last time as well. Why is he doing that? Sick. Slay as well. Why is it a transformer now? Sure. You know what? Go off. It's doing like the same dance to the pop song, right? Don't fondle him. Oh, it's a good day for robo-fuckers, that's all I'll say. Okay, he's getting them to lock in. The voice is so good. He's gonna get involved. Here at some point, he has to. Super boing. Go on, Dazena. Into the minefield, baby. Okay, so these two are beefing too, yeah. Come on, Funky Boy. We have to use Funky Boy? What the hell? I don't know what they're up to downstairs, but I'm more focused on the race. Okay, better make sure mine's not like right there. Thought it was. Yeah, so Frisbee's worked on the car too, so it may be a matter of having a bomb there too. What the fuck? Okay, this seems bad. But apparently we're going to use Funky Boy to hold them off here at some point. The other question mark I have is, you know who Frisbee's hanging out with? Is that the same guy that had the two ladies from like the flashback way early? How the fuck is this working? What? Anyway. Fucking murder them all. Alright, it's looking bad for Miki and Todoroki or whatever it was. Alright, the bad guys are winning. Yes? Why did he say that? Whoa. Why did time stop? Con Sonoshi, be cool. Don't die, Sonoshi. Oh, inadvertently the cop helped. Based. Okay, here we go. Looks like fucking Godzilla. Oh, this is so cool. Okay, sweet JP. Machine Head, Tetsuzin. Okay, so this is gonna make fucking Volton pretty mad. Okay, and that like killed a bunch of them. Yeah, gotcha. The sound is awesome on it too. Whoa, the dam goes. Funky boy. What's the play? Oh! Come on now, funky boy. Okay, so disintegrate funky boy? Well, this is a good opportunity for the racers to get somewhat ahead then. Poor funky boy. Okay, so that's what's supposed to happen. Now, Funky Boy didn't deserve that. I liked Funky Boy. That was just like a nuke, though. We wiped out our own weapon, yay. What happens to our money if they're all dead? Thought he might've. Well, get back in the car, guys. Come on now. Oh, yeah, like the flashback. For sure. I think it's going to be come for a ride in my car. What? With you in the car, you fucking weigh nothing. Yeah, come on now. Yeah. Go on then. Nah, I feel like it'll be pertinent to ask you for your character arc. It was on the news. And he's been in with them ever since, right? Okay, with his life on the line. Interesting. That's a little bit more sympathetic for him. Okay, but what about the bomb? I guess Six Arms is gonna go fix the bomb. Whatever you say. Whatever you say, sweetie. Whatever you want. Wait, no! Yo! Funky Boy's back! Funky Boy's too strong. Well, I would recommend getting out of the blast radius, guys. Oh, no, never mind. So what the hell is he doing? Oh, that's fucked up. What the fuck? Gotcha. Okay, Funky Boy versus Lizard Freak. He like mind melded with a lizard. Let's go, cops. The fuck is happening? Oh. Let's go then. So will we be joint winners, or anyway? We're gonna let the show happen, I guess. And yeah, necklace, right? That's how we. Yeah, that's how we put it all together. This thing's got a fucking jet engine on the back. It's a lot of money. I don't care about money, it's about the glory now. Who the hell are these guys? Okay, so Mafia bozos, because Frisbee won't give up the detonator. Yes! Bye-bye! Holy fuck, he just murdered him. Okay. Yes. Okay. Frisbee was based anyway. Wouldn't give up the detonator. He wanted to see them come in first. Okay, let's not think about what that means for the future. Like, are they still indebted to the Mafia, or... And that guy just killed a person. Anyway, whatever. This land seems lawless anyway. Oh, she took the wheel there for a little bit too. Oh. Why do you guys both have one? Because he's like the car himself, because he's machine. Alright, he's too cool. We can't beat him. Alright. Let's see if we can even hope to compete. Wait, these cunts are still here? Whoa! Naked car. Oh, we getting along. Oh, he got on the fucking beers too. We love Six Arms guy. Okay, cop. These two freaks are still here too? How about the Guna car? Are they still here too? Yes. Oh, here comes everybody. Oh, fuck yeah. What happened to the giant lizard guy? Fuck these guys, apparently. Destroy their whole country. Fuck Robo World. Machine Head's so cool. Oh no! No! Chad, I think we won. Okay. So what's further beyond that point? Like, hey, you can get in here to this car, or you can go even further beyond. You need the edge, bro. Well, what else do we have? Oh, the bomb. How? Yeah, but it's sick, though. The music's sick. This is like Daft Punk shit. What's gonna happen? Where Millie just... This thing's being fueled on pure dreams. Oh, how close is the red line? Oh, Pompadour, Pompadour. Yeah. For sure. He gave it a flick of the head. Whoa, holy fuck. Dude, the confetti effect is crazy. Oh, now they're just floating up there? Now everyone's just in the afterglow. What the fuck? I know. It's only natural to be in love with her, I think. Love. Is that it? What a great ending. That's so funny. Is that really it? I knew nothing about this movie. This is so funny. What is this song? Oh my god, it's peak. It's so good. I didn't think that this would be my kind of thing, but I fucking loved that. That was so fun. You know it's good when you immediately want to watch it again. Oh, this song is so cheesy. Oh, that made me very happy, this movie. It's, it's so good. Oh. What do I even have to say about that? It kind of resists analysis, honestly. There was some good character writing details. I like the fact that his hair was the thing that ultimately won him the race. Again, it's code that is his kind of like criminal, lower socioeconomic past, right? Helping to beat all these people that have everything else going for them. All these drums. That as well as I enjoyed the arc of Frisbee. I thought it was pretty good. And the sidecast, they're all so one note, but the jokes are just good. They're good bit characters, man. And Sonashi's the most beautiful woman ever put on screen. I don't care that she's a drawing. She's real to me. That's about where I'm landing on it, I think. Oh, and I adore this ending song. I thought that was so funny. I thought it was about to end. It's continuing to go. Rob Laufer. Music was really good throughout too, I must say. Again, I'm just trying to even think of other things that I want to say about it. I think we're very much coding RoboWorld as like a Soviet country, right? I think. Again, hiding secrets, very exclusionary. Maybe even some nuclear stuff in there somewhere. Yeah, that one character, the guy that turned into the fucking rat or the snake or whatever, that was kind of nothing. But who cares? It was cool. Gastonia. Excuse you? Sure. Okay, well, that was peak. I loved that. I loved every moment of that, actually. Yeah, it's... How good? How good was that? I want to watch it again. I'll return either today or tomorrow to talk about that in a little bit more detail. I'm happy enough to say that, aesthetic things aside, there's not that much to it. It's kind of just like a cool race movie where they do a cool race, and all the character arcs are relatively simple, and they just kind of come together really well. It's pretty simple plot-wise. So again, more of that stuff would be like, what did it mean? What is it aping off of? What are the influences? Aesthetic stuff. Yeah, I'll get into it, of course. But yeah, thoroughly enjoyable. Loved my time here today with Redline. So yeah, I'll see you guys in a bit. You'll see. And we're back. It's 2 days' time since I've seen the movie Redline. I'm still very hot on it. I think it's very, 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 very cool. And cool's going to be the operative word there, I think. Now, again, I feel like I'm saying this every week, and it probably just comes with the territory, right? This is very different from anything else I've done movie-wise on the channel. Who knew? A lot of movies are very different from one another and have different things to talk about and so forth, right? In this one, I'm basically not going to look at the story at all. Well, I mean, I am. I'm going to go through the plot just to make sure I grab certain things, because I did miss stuff, for sure. And reading through the plot synopsis, yeah, I did miss that stuff, for sure. But more pertinently, does it matter? That's kind of my lens by which this is going to be framed, this discussion, right? When does story not matter? And when is it okay for story not to matter, I guess? Because you've seen the channel, I'm a story guy almost first and foremost entirely. I do appreciate a good production, good music, good animation, good everything, right? But generally I've been one to look at the characters and story. That's where I really get impressed. So you start to look at some of my favorite stuff I've done on the channel, maybe something like Revolutionary Girl Utena, something like Monogatari, something like Girls Last Tour, something like Apothecary Diaries. They're all very wordy, character, or at least got big ideas, I guess. And I'll get more into it towards the end of the discussion here when I kind of give my final thoughts, but yeah, I want to show this to people, right? And I feel like I said that about something else as well very recently, and that's like a really high level of acclaim for me, right? If I want to actually genuinely show off that I'm a fucking weeb and want to show people this shit, then it must be pretty good. That's my point, right? But either way, much like normal, I've split it up into story, characters, art, animation, music, what did it all mean, and review. Those are my general categories that go through when I do the movies. And of course, I have the visual accompaniment down here if I want to grab a certain frame of something, right? Like that. That one's pretty cool. I like that one there. How about her with her boobs out? That was like around here somewhere, I reckon. Yeah, somewhere about there. Let's go. And the Boyne twins, or whatever they were called. Scandalous, I know. Now, first and foremost, here we have Wikipedia. Wikipedia, my good friend. They're going to give me a nice little plot summary here. It was a little bit off last week when I did Pumper the Cinephile's little spiel, so maybe just watch out for some things that may be incorrect in this summary. Again, it is Wikipedia, but it's mostly pretty good, I think. Now, this film, it's just proper noun central, so bear with me on this first little bit here, right? But we've got the plot. On the planet Dorothy, Sweet JP races in the Yellow Line car race, the final examination race to the most popular race in the galaxy, the Redline. That's already insane. That's some insanity, right? So I remember reading Dorothy, but I don't know what that's about. Maybe you could read into something. The most famous Dorothy being Wizard of Oz, but I can't see any connections there. No Place Like Home. There's a little bit of a magical ending. You could involve it in something like that. Film is certainly very colourful, maybe referencing The Wizard of Oz and its use of Technicolor. Anyway, maybe I'm squinting too early. Now, this is where I got a little bit confused in the film. This is, yeah, my good friend Frisbee. JP's alien mechanic Frisbee watches the televised race along with a mafia boss with whom they've fixed the race. When JP, who is supposed to come in second place, attempts to win anyway, Frisbee resorts to remotely detonating an explosive under JP's Trans Am 20,000, thereby making Sonoshi Cherry Boy Hunter McLaren the final winner. So there's a few things that get revealed later into the plot that kind of uncover this for me, I guess. And maybe they're there early if you're doing a pure rewatch. Maybe I'll see them if and when I do. JP is a criminal. He has a criminal past. He went to prison. Specifically here, while recuperating from the explosion in a hospital, Frisbee tells JP he's off the hook with his bondsman. So specifically, they're going to the mafia to make money by fixing races so that they can pay off his bond. I think that's the idea, right? So therefore, we have that scene at the very end where it's like, hey, the bondsman's dropped it. Or the very end of Yellow Line, let's say. The bondsman's dropped it, here's your money. JP initially refuses the money, says, hey, no, Frisbee, this is yours, because they're best buds. Now, again, I thought I was off Frisbee here because I thought that he was manipulating races behind JP's back. No, they're both trying to get each other out of trouble. Now, there is an element of this, for sure, where Frisbee is definitely leaning a little bit more mafia-pilled than he should, right? We'll talk about the alligator shoes a little bit later. But they're not adversarial. There's no deceit here. They're all on the same page, where I thought that potentially that would be a plot direction. I'm happy enough to qualified that now. I know what's going on. So JP's all buddy-buddy with Frisbee, initially turns down the money, but then a crowd of reporters storms into the hospital room where JP learns that he's been voted by popular demand for the Redline following the dropout of 2 qualifiers due to the revelation of the race's location being on RoboWorld, a planet dominated by militant zealot cyborgs, whose president has threatened to hang all involved with the Redline mothership if it appears out of hyperspace over their planet. Now, I thought this was very interesting framing. I'll go into some of my thoughts about RoboWorld a little bit later as well. But hey, we're essentially putting on a big sporting event and a certain country says, hey, if you bring in anybody that opposes us politically and what we stand for and all that kind of stuff, we will fucking kill you. And again, I don't think that you need to go very far to find a real life equivalent for that kind of thing. Again, we'll talk about it a little bit later, but I think it's all very interesting. But either way, back to the JP stuff, that is when he then takes this money and I believe reinvests it to go into Redline and get his new car and all that kind of stuff. That's when he goes and gets the old man guy with the 6 arms, kind of this former acquaintance that they had. Hey, work on this thing. Hey, Frisbee, your chief mechanic. And yeah, go procure me like a jet engine or something to that effect, using this money that I made from illegal bets. And again, we'll talk more about Frisbee's specific conflict a little bit later in his character section. But yeah, now his conflict in the film is, hey, do I help JP with this shit like we used to, be best buds with him or whatever else, or do I get a gazillion dollars from the mafia guy? Right? That's then his conflict. Which way do I choose? Ultimately, I think he chooses the best way, but again, till the final second, it looks like he is going to betray him. He does go as far as to put that bomb on JP's car for Redline, so he does have the thing there. In the end, that kind of being that final propellant that helps him get over the line, which is fun. Racers prepare for Redline by camping out on Europus? I don't remember this at all. Anyway, it's a demilitarized zone, right? Close by to Robo-World, you can kind of zoom in hyperspace style very quickly from there. It just makes perfect sense for a place to set up. It's mainly occupied by refugees in the M3 Nebula Federation. There, JP tries to sign his alien junk dealer Old Man Mole onto his team. So he did have a name. I guess Old Man Mole works. Old Man Mole protests the presence of Frisbee on their own team and Frisbee's insistence on using a rare, uncontrollable, hyper-powered engine, but eventually gives in to JP's convincing. JP finds Sonoshi in a restaurant on the moon, where many of the races are converging. Trava, a racer, is attacked by Little Dezuna, a recently AWOL subordinate of Colonel Volton. And the restaurant is soon raided by Colonel Volton and his squad of Robo-World soldiers. We mustn't forget that this is where Tetsujin Machine Head is as well, who is my favorite character because he's the coolest guy ever. Volton reminds the racers any Redline event will be repelled by the army and police before retrieving Dezuna and leaving the damaged restaurant. Now this is... Well, Robo-World was already bad. We already didn't like those guys, but this was a step too far, right? This is literally military going into the demilitarized zone, right? And then says, who's going to stop us? This is when they become completely unsympathetic and you can kind of do whatever with them. Fireworks, celebrations, and bookmaker agents' desks break out on Robo-World despite the threats from the military and are raided by deadly android police and robots. Now, this was a weird scene. This was like all the gambling stuff. This happened like, and I should have been using my visual. I always seem to forget it. This was like just before Sonoshi gets super naked. Yeah, right here, they like kind of bust in on them like gambling and then shoot them all and they all die. I think this is broadly meant to set up the military police robots as a thing, so sure. And that, hey, there's some illegal bookmaking being done, kind of the seedy underbelly of Robo-World, I guess. Now, miners on Robo-World use their power suits to sabotage the military's power station, while the Race Commission hires Earth-native racing partners Lynchman and Johnny Boyar to sabotage an orbital disintegration cannon, which Secretary of Defense Titan plans to use to destroy the Redline mothership the instant it comes out of hyperspace. Now, this is all very quick, but again, this will be important for thematic stuff later, I believe. There's literally like this kind of underground working class kind of rebellion type of theme to Robo-World. Not everybody's completely on the same kind of line that they think that the government of Robo-World's cool. They're not solely in focus there. There is dissent potentially between an upper class and a working class. Anyway, we'll get to it. I'm teasing too much. While in hyperspace, the princess from the planet Supergrass marks the race course on the military base with a pair of scout vessels. I'm going to imagine that this is the kind of love heart, peace and love spreading type stuff, like the hippie type beat. Unaware of the sabotage against the orbital disintegration cannon, the president realizes the racers are on the planet after the cannon fails and sends his troops en masse at the racers. This is when we do like Fortnite, where we drop in boys and like immediately drop down and start fucking racing and being cool. And this is when like the kind of climax of the film starts, I guess. It's not that much left, relatively. The president becomes increasingly desperate as the racers evade them and approach the mine-laden zone 7 7X lair of the secret illegal biological weapon named Funky Boy, who awakens from its status as the races and the rebellious miners converge on it. With the several hundred-foot tall Funky Boy awakening, the subsequent destruction of the base coinciding with the orbital cannon coming back online, the president orders Funky Boy fired upon. The explosion takes out most of the RoboWorld troops while JP pushes to right his overturned car off its side. Sonoshi, her vehicle totaled, agrees to ride with him to the finish line as Funky Boy regenerates. Funky Boy is taken out by Colonel Volton, who dangerously merges with another bioweapon to do so. Okay, so basically what I thought happened. I was just kind of along for the ride at that point. Frisbee watches the race in the mob boss's hovercraft, where he revives the same deal as Yellow Line. This is literally meant to show Frisbee's character development, that he's changed from the start of the film to the end. This stuff's pretty obvious. Frisbee refuses to detonate the explosive charge, wanting to see his friend win just one time. He is attacked by mobsters for his decision, but is saved by Old Man Mole, who discovered Frisbee's sabotage and kills the mob boss and his lackeys. Old Man Mole went crazy there. He went stupid. There you go, that's a good visual for it. That'll do. As the race nears the finish line, longtime winner and Redline favorite Machine Head and JP race to the southern line, boosted by their rare Steamlight boosters. This is where they're staking it all and putting the power of friendship into this shit and whatever. As they come to a desperate neck-and-neck finish, a drunken Old Man Mole accidentally detonates Frisbee's remote explosive, propelling JP and Sonoshi towards the finish line, thrown from their vehicle. The boost is enough, and JP wins by the length of his long duck-tail pompadour. As the racers rest at the end of the track amidst the ruins of RoboWorld, JP and Sonoshi float back to the ground, kissing and declaring their love for each other. It truly was a Redline day, after all. There you go, that'll do as a visual. Yeah, and I mean, that'll close out the plot. I've just noticed that I've had this kind of framed poorly too. Maybe like there? Anyway. Don't trust me when it comes to doing any of this stuff. I'm bad at it. Anyway, that's the film. And yeah, we can pop back over here and do some general thoughts on the story. It's very quick. It's entirely possible that I even missed stuff, even again now. It is a very dense film frame-wise. There's a ton of frames of animation. I'm sure there's little background stuff all over the place that I'm missing that could infer other stuff. Sure, there could be more in the background. But again, as I say here, more than other stuff that I've done on the channel in the past, I don't think it really ultimately matters here, because this is a feel, don't think kind of movie that makes me feel like I'm on cocaine. Not that I've done cocaine, I don't really know, but I think that's a pretty apt comparison to watching Redline. So I don't think that this is even in that same category as something like an Angel's Egg. I thought Angel's Egg was saying a lot with a little. This is saying a little with a lot. But in a cool way, in a very, very cool way. And again, go right ahead. If you have deep, thoughtful analysis of Redline, please at me. I'd like to see it, but I don't. I don't see it, really. I've got a little bit here at the very end where I go into it. But most of all, no. I think we will just leave it there for the story department. There's some few cool things here, but most of the cool things just wrap into the characters anyway. So first, we have JP. He is protagonist. I write this here because he is the most protagonist. He is the most anime guy ever? Yeah. He's got like a pompadour, and he's brash and self-confident, and oozes cool, and he drives a cool car, and he shoots fucking guns, and he bangs hot ladies and all that kind of stuff, right? He is the most protagonist. There's nothing else even to him, kinda. And again, for that, I think he's great. I've written Smooth Talker here, because he's a smooth talker. I like some of the comedic stuff we do in the restaurant in this regard, as well as this kind of follow-up scene with Sonoshi, and the earring and that kind of stuff. He's put on all the moves. He's pretty likable there, I think. Him trolling this fucking Zoidberg motherfucker was a highlight too. I really like that. Pulling his pants down when he was trying to smooth talk Sonoshi. Of course, there's probably some subconscious level of that's jealousy, but anyway, I digress. And yeah, the earring stuff's weird, because I wanted to watch it again, right? Because she definitely goes and she definitely drops an earring here, right? Yeah, he kind of notices on the ground here. She definitely dropped it on purpose. And it's like, hey, do you want this back? This kind of thing. She definitely hears him and then retreats into a room. Is she inviting him inside. And then he kind of puts it together and then gets a little bit nostalgic about the whole thing as well. Am I reading that correctly? Again, it's kind of a hard movie to dissect in that regard. I guess it's meant to show the purity of JP's love. It's not purely that he thinks Sonoshi is hot. It's that they have this true connection from way back in the day that potentially Sonoshi doesn't remember at the moment. Therefore, he wants to take it slow and respect her and do all these other kind of things instead of just jumping in there and taking his kid off. I don't know. That's my read. Could be incorrect. We'll never know. The idea of sweet JP I write here as well. So why is JP sweet JP? So sweet as a description for another person, generally. I'm reading this one, right? Urban Dictionary, by the way. It's neither here nor there. Like, sweet is somebody that is weak or soft. And they say Chicago here, but I've heard it largely associated with prison and that kind of thing as well, which is, I think, where we're getting it for JP. His kind of sweet persona starts even during his prison days and that kind of thing, right? And by that I mean he's weak-willed. He just kind of gives up races and he'll kind of let you win and all that kind of stuff. It's meant to show a level of weakness for JP, right? Based on his reputation. He wants to move away from the sweet title and become a true competitor like Sonoshi, right? The cherry boy hunter herself. But again, it works twofold. I scroll down here. Sweet. It's also just cute and nice. It means sweet. Like, if somebody's sweet, they're sweet. You know what I mean? Like, there's this dichotomy here, I think, right? Where he is both simultaneously a sweet boy. He's a sweet boy to hang out with. But I also think he's, like, prison sweet in so much as he gives up races easily and he's corruptible and he falls for things and all this kind of stuff. And for a movie I think that's largely underwritten, I think that's pretty cool. I think that's pretty cool. Again, if it translates to Japanese that way, that's neither here nor there. That's my interpretation at the moment. And now we get into boring character writing stuff. I haven't talked about it on the channel. I probably should have at some point, but wants versus needs is a pretty important thing when writing characters, right? So wants are external. Wants are something that JP physically wants, right, in the plot. He wants money. How does he get money? Victory. But he only wants victory in so much as that he can get women and money and cars and gold and alligator shoes and all this kind of stuff, right? That is JP's wants. His needs in the film are internal, right? They're his feelings. They're explored through Sonoshi as a character, right? Who embodies competitive spirit, racing your heart out, giving your best, being a genuine person instead of hiding behind a little bit of a lie sometimes. I think the film explores this quite well considering how underwritten the whole thing as a whole is, right? Frisbee works a lot in this regard as well, but I'm sure that he knows that he would have a huge payday, right? If they were to do this thing the same way they had been doing things, right? And throw the race. So again, that's the conflict for JP. Throw the race, get a bunch of money, or potentially fuck all my friends over and get in bad with the mafia and all this other shit and try to win. The end of the film is glorious in this regard, right? Instead of coveting women as a concept, he now covets Sonoshi, right? She's in love with him. It's a pure, genuine love as opposed to a, flimsy, fabricated, kind of artificial love that would come as a result of money. He's finally able to stop for a moment. There's this moment of calm and kind of contemplation upon the end of the race, right? I said it was akin to the afterglow after climax, let's say. I think there's something there that I want to say that I can't quite find the words for, but he definitely feels like way much more of a person at peace than he would if he went the other direction. And I think that's purposeful. That's some pretty good character writing. In this regard, let's dive into Sonoshi as well. She's the emotional heart of the film. Think about the crashing cars scene. Contrast this with JP. So again, she's so very much about genuinely trying to win, right? Nobody wants this more than I do. All that kind of stuff to it, right? Like, we're literally at that scene right now if I wanted to go and have a look. Crying genuine tears, not just this kind of blank face stuff that JP's kind of got through the first half of the movie, genuinely caring. And again, convincing other people around her to genuinely care as well. Again, she's got her family drive into that as well with the whole, I think it was the father and the necklace situation. Again, it's not Shakespeare, but it's pretty good, right? It just kind of does the job. Contrast that with JP and his wants very early in the film, wanting success and everything else, right? A pure racer's racer, I guess. A little bit of a sports movie connotation to it, right? Doing it for the love of the game. And again, assisting Sonoshi in doing that by embodying these kind of traits that she held so dear at a very young age is why JP and Sonoshi getting together in the car and doing all that stuff at the end of the film works as well as it does as a kind of final thing. I think Sonoshi is the best character design of the film by a great distance. Where's a good shot of Sonoshi? So this is her in a pretty dress. Sure, fantastic. So again, characterized by large bows here on the dress, that kind of same pink-green color scheme working throughout. The green on top with the pink underneath on the hair. Her kind of really big anime eyes in that regard too. I just think it just looks fucking awesome. So if we pop back here to the start as well, we'll get a better look at her actual design too. Like, I don't even know, it resists analysis. I just like it. I don't even know how to describe it. It's just really good. And this is where I write, did I miss the boat on this? Was everybody knew about her? I never knew about her. Okay, normally when I watch stuff, it's like, oh my god, this has a waifu in it, and I'll know who the waifu is. She's the best. Why didn't anybody tell me? Are you guys stupid? I don't know, man. I like Sonoshi a lot. So I want all the Sonoshi stuff. I want Sonoshi profile pictures. I want Sonoshi fucking merch. I want Sonoshi fan art. I want Sonoshi figures. I want Sonoshi. I'm all in. I'm all in on her. I'm all in on Tetsujin Machine Head as well, but we'll get there. Now, I think the scene with her tits out is a joke. Now, let me go back here, and I'll try not to show the tits in question. So, introducing the scene, we don't quite see her yet, but we see that she's watching the TV, and they're kind of doing a little bit of a news report on the upcoming race, and the races there within. They show off her ass, and she's like, ooh, they're showing off my ass. I don't know about that. And then I think it's meant to be a joke, because then she comes onto screen, and she's not wearing a top, which is normally a little bit further than just showing someone's bum with their clothes off. So again, that one's just like clearly a joke. Because again, I read Reddit, unfortunately, after I finish these things, just to see what the general gist is. I saw a lot of people calling out this scene, saying that it was gratuitous and kind of weird. I think they just missed the joke. I think they missed the joke. I'm not going to say the joke's particularly good, and yes, it is an excuse to get her tits on screen. But to disregard it completely is just fan service for the sake of fan service is I think kind of missing the point there, at least a little bit. Also, again, based on this kind of thing's influences and so forth, and the people working on it, you could even say that this is tame by comparison, I guess. Watch something from before the year 2000 and you'll know what I mean in that regard. Now, Frisbee. I was Division 1 Frisbee hater early in the film, right? Then the rest of the movie happened and I kind of saw what was going on a little bit more. Let's talk about the alligator shoes motif. I think that one's pretty important. So if we pop over here after the end of Redline, his fucking car gets smashed and JP's considering the past, I guess, and what happened back in the day. We literally see Frisbee and JP kind of beaten up here. He gets up, he sees two beautiful ladies, and he sees some dude in giant alligator shoes. Now again, I have my theories that this is just that same fucking mob boss guy. So again, this kind of mob richness is now something that JP wants to attain. By proxy, Frisbee wants to attain as well. Now this guy, and what he represents a constricting factor for our good friend JP, somebody that is holding them back from achieving their true potential. It is no coincidence that when we are introduced to Frisbee the next time, he is wearing very similar shoes, wearing a very similar suit, all that kind of stuff. It's almost like what Frisbee is doing right here, right now, with trying to get money and, you know, throwing the races and so forth, is akin to the same things that are holding him back from the past. It's something that he needs to cut loose. Frisbee hasn't quite realized that he's this restrictive on JP up to this point. He comes to his senses by the very end and gets drunk and smokes with his friends. A lot more populous than the kind of whiskey and wine of a mob boss, I guess you would say. That's character progress, right? I wonder if we even make explicit reference if I go back and watch it completely. Again, this movie is very quick. I don't know if I spoke about it already. But again, it's like $2 squigillion, right? And then he has to get up and he gets beaten up by his mob friends. Still wearing those same shoes. I wondered if he took them off at some point or that kind of thing. He definitely gets a lot more relaxed when he's hanging with my guy Mole Man or whatever. Anyway, Frisbee, he has a change of heart through the film. It's expressed through his early love of material things, but eventually coming through for his friend in the very end. I think at some point during the midpoint of the film as well, he says that he always comes through for his friends, right? He always comes through in the end, or JP says something to that effect. And yeah, he certainly lived up to that by the very end. I know that Frisbee will come through for me. Frisbee eventually comes through for him and allows him to win Redline, the most prestigious of races, and so forth, right? Does this really good thing for his friend, something that they've been working towards for like forever, right? So it's just good. My only criticism is that that arc and everything there within it, much like many other things in the film, are very quick. You could say this film is almost overstuffed. We kind of go into that here, right? I would say that those three that I said are the main characters in the movie. Everyone else is some variant of side character, world building, or joke. I think that's every other character in the film, and for a movie that's 100 minutes, that's kind of crazy. It goes to show how stuffed this thing is, just full of nonsense. And again, I love the nonsense, but we have to call a spade, I think. I think Old Man Six Arms is the closest we get to having another main character. Him saving the day was pretty cool. Again, clearly knows the boys from the past, a little bit crotchety, all these kind of things, hoity-toity almost at spots. About certain things, doesn't want to put the fucking jet engine in the car like he should, but eventually loosens up, starts drinking. So again, you could squint and call that a character arc, maybe, that he kind of loosens up. I guess more accurately, you could say that his character arc is attached to Frisbee, becoming good friends and chums and drinking and hanging out at the very end. I think, sure, if you wanted to call that an arc, you could. Tetsujin Machine Head is the coolest person to ever live. I am staunch on this, I think. So he has an awesome scene in the restaurant, I remember, where he's just here and he's just hanging out. And I think Daizuna or whatever wants to fight him, but he's just kind of like, no, thank you. I don't want to do that. And he's just aura. He doesn't even throw a punch or anything, but he still ends up kind of winning the fight. And again, it gets broken up eventually, but like, would you fight this guy? Look at him. He's so cool. And again, resists analysis. I don't even want to tell you why he's cool. He just is. By the very end of the film, he is the main competitor, and he is like literally crucifying himself on his car. He's willing to sacrifice it all. Again, he's that awesome kind of sports movie rival type guy. He's just demented and fucked up, but also really honorable and cool and stuff. He's not like a... This movie had enough villainous characters, rival characters, that were kind of pathetic and scrawny and all this kind of stuff. This guy, he represents all the right things, and he's just damn good at it. He's just damn good. Now, Super Boins, I think is their name. They make it on name alone, I'm just going to be honest. I think that's just a funny pun name for a group of ladies that are fucking more fan service than competitor. Again, they're from the same planet as the princess we go into, right? They're also using this as an opportunity to... Yeah, that whole character animation part was strange, but awesome. They're using it to promote their fucking stupid song. Is that not funny? And they're in a mech, and it has like boob cockpits. Now again, am I going to pretend like I know what any of this is about? Not really. But is it funny? It most certainly is funny and memorable and entertaining. Everything that it was kind of setting out to do, I think it did. Also, if you're into your Transformers, you'll like this. Or if you're a car fucker. We have Trava, Shinkai, and Daizuna. They had nothing. They're so nothing. They don't do anything in the movie, but they're funny. Like Shinkai being like really stupid looking. And like they're just fighting and screaming constantly, but nothing happens. It's just like, whoa, it's crazy. But I really like it still. I don't know. Him like kind of third wheeling at the dinner is really funny, and like, oh, you'll eat the shrimp like spaghetti kind of worm guys? Yeah, sure. Just kind of ruining this like important moment between the two. I don't even think he's largely even like interested in Sonoshi. He just kind of wants the food. I don't know. And again, this is where we get to talk about character design. This is just fucking peak sci-fi shit. Now, Volton's a weird one. You could almost say he's disappointing. I choose not to agree, but sure. I thought he was being set up as a major foil for JP. Again, I'm focusing a lot... I should be clicking that here. I'm focusing a lot on this kind of action scene at the restaurant, right? Because I think it's crucially important for a lot of stuff that happens after the fact. Volton, based on his character design, right, and this interaction in the restaurant, I thought it was largely being built up as a rival figure and a foil for JP. I think maybe in one iteration of the script this was definitely the case, because, you know, it would just make sense, I think. I think it's very funny that he does not impact JP basically at all. I guess... by proxy, he destroys his car because the fucking orbital weapon goes off and destroys everyone's car. Well, it kind of flips his car, it doesn't destroy his car, but you know what I mean, right? More, he was just fighting Funky Boy. What's that about? I don't understand at all. Anyway, and then that guy just he exits the movie, and like Robo-World isn't even much of a thing after that. It's more just the race, and it's just being cool by the very end. So I don't know, strange. You could be critical. I choose not to. I think they do cool other stuff instead. So we have the animation. It's clearly the selling point of this whole thing. Sense of speed. Sense of speed is definitely the early word. From the early stuff in the film with Yellow Line to everything else, just the flow of it and the momentum and all that kind of stuff conveyed by the animation is what's giving it a lot of its personality. Again, I'm not going to find it for you now, but the scene where they like go into super mega ultra nitro overdrive by the very end of the film, and it just kind of lengthens out the whole length of the car. Peak. It's just peak. It's very, very good. I think the Redline race itself, as well as Yellow Line at the start of the film, would be far lesser if we didn't have the speed that we had, right? So let me just play some portions for you, right? Yeah, this kind of stuff, right? So zoom, 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 like all that. And the music's just kind of thumping in the background, doing all that kind of stuff. I think that's that good stuff. That's that good money shots, man. That's what we pay for. That's what Redline will be remembered by me for in my head. I'll be like, Redline, the movie with the fast cars. And chaos. Chaos everywhere. Fucking limbs flying, people dying, explosions everywhere. The film would be less if it didn't do all of these things, if it wasn't so eclectic as it was, and again, showing off all this kind of stuff in motion. I noted a couple of times that I noticed CG during the film. I'm wondering how correct I am on that, but considering this thing was made in like 2008, 2009, so like, what gives? Are they using that much CG back then? Please let me know. This is also where I get to go into some of the outside context. Apparently, Korke wanted to make this film for a very long time. It was a very long time in production. Probably stinks of rewrites, stinks of like, you know, leading up to release a couple of times before failing to get there and being adjusted and so forth. It's a miracle that it came out as cohesive as it did. This is where we get into, unfortunately, this movie made like negative gajillion dollars at the box office, so again, and definitely leaning more on that cult film status as we're continuing here. But again, the one I wanted to highlight was hand-drawn cell animation, 100,000 frames. If we're taking this thing as being animated on 24 frames a second, just a quick calculation, that means we have 70 minutes purely if the movie was running completely at 24 frames a second. That is unique frames for 70 minutes of it. That is insane. That is insanity. And again, I don't even know if this thing is fucking 24 frames a second. I'm gonna imagine so, because if we're going next frame there, it's 124. Some of it's on twos. There's a few things on twos here. Yeah, okay, interesting. But yeah, that's a lot of drawing. That's a lot of genuinely fucking drawing, and I'd imagine that's an outlier compared to other industry standards at the time. There's a particular shot after we win Redline where there's a crowd celebrating. Yeah, all this kind of stuff here. Just, again, let me frame by frame some of this for a bit. The confetti effect in the compositing's fantastic, as well as the compositing to put the stuff on screens, and just like so much unique movement. Even if not a lot of it is, like got a lot of frames to it. It's just kind of a couple frames back and forth for a lot of it. It really comes through in motion itself, just like pure fucking like visual clutter. It's crazy. And again, none of it needs to make much sense. It's more about the conveying the feeling, right? Again, I just think that stuff's cool. I really like that stuff. That was one of my standout animation moments, I guess. There's some sneaky good character animation along the way too. The Robo-World guys are fucking stiff. Tetsujin stiff, right? Because he's like a machine guy. Compare that to how Old Man Mole fucking rolls around and JP kind of saunters around too. But Sonashi's got this little bit of womanly class to her. And again, a lot of for the film being as underwritten as I think it is, there's a lot of character detail given off through the animation that helps remedy this, I think. I can get the vibe of what kind of person they are based on how the film is animated, which, again, is worthy of praise. I already shouted at the compositing once, but I think all of the TV stuff basically is fantastic in this regard, just like the different combination of disparate elements here, like lower thirds, upper thirds, all sorts of bullshit there. News reports, other stuff flying in. Let's talk about like the broadcast overlay which I'm sure we get at some point. I don't know. I'm looking for it. I can't quite see it. But again, just for the uninitiated, that's made through the confluence of different forms of animation put together on the same thing, i.e. composited, right? That's a great frame too. So again, all that different combination of stuff is what gives that stuff its uniqueness and makes it feel like this lived-in world kind of sci-fi place, which is important. My favorite animation joke of the film that is carried by the animation is this one where they start the news report, right? I think it's just when they start racing. And there's the little Invader Zim looking motherfucker, and he's doing the news report and he looks insane. That's some of the stuff I'm talking about, by the way, just like the combination of, it looks like it's on TV, you know what I mean? Yeah, this is the part. Let me replay this whole thing, because it just starts with like 3 really weird looking shots. So cut to here, they look insane, zoom in, undershot, zoom there, zoom out from there, and he doesn't talk the entire time. He's just like weirdly smiling, and he's got like Thor, Marvel's fucking Thor next to him. What are we doing? It's so fucked up. Right from the start again. Like right here, news, zoom down. Look at that. Zoom, zoom, zoom. What are we doing? It's hilarious. I love that cut. It's so good. The art obviously is very striking for the film as well. Strong and cohesive, right? Anyway, we can find an example anyway. I'm sure I can click anywhere and find like what I'm talking about. I guess this is one good example. So we have really strong, bold line work in a lot of places, right? Also emphasizing a very dark shadow. Just in general, a really bold line even around the outside. And again, this applies to all the characters, especially when they're in kind of just depressive spots, right? Lots of shadow, lots of shadow, which again makes the contrast of like little to no shadow by the very end when they're all kind of feeling euphoric, or at least different kinds of shadow. He looks very air-touched here, hit a little bit harder. In this regard, I'm not crazy about the backgrounds, but I don't think that ultimately really matters. Again, it's got this, I know it literally is cel-shaded, that's why it's got a cel-shaded look, but it looks like something like Borderlands, right? Maybe it's the wasteland of it all as well, and the sci-fi and that kind of thing. But in like a cool way, like not in a lame way. It looks cool. And again, especially during this whole Redline sequence, the backgrounds and the lack of detail there is a consequence of, I guess you would say, the speed, right? We need to be moving quickly, therefore we can't really show off these backgrounds and let the movie kind of sit. Contrasted with something like Wolf Children, where the movie sat a lot. Fantastic big vista backgrounds because you knew you were going to get the use out of them. Again, this is just smart stuff. Overall, I think this film has really good character designs. I had a look at the design sheets last night as well. Primo, loved him. I've already glazed Sonoshi's design, but the RoboWorld guys are fucking sick too in that regard. JP's like protagonist, man, but he's still pretty good. Frisbee's cool because the non-human design gives him a little bit of distrust factor. I think that's an element to it too. Like, look, he's this little alien freak guy. We shouldn't trust him, which again is not entirely fair, but you know. This kind of segment where we're going around on the planet and nobody's giving us anything, a lot of variety there, very Star Warsy. And again, all I really need is just the shot of all the fucking races in the final 8. They're just so eclectic and weird. Fucking Beavis and Butthead over here. Great. Fantastic. When I shouted out the colors of the film before it even started because I knew they were going to be good, turns out they were good. I like the difference in coloration between the flashbacks and, you know, what's actually happening. This kind of, this is your best point of contrast. Very shiny, shiny, shiny. Not shiny at all. Kind of dull, kind of blown out a little bit. Very hospital-y when we get out of there. It's like the bleak reality instead of the idealistic past, you know? Same thing as the Sonoshi flashback, right? A bit more blown out and different colors and different shadows as a result, I think. The art design also lends itself to go huge. Like the character designs pared down well. They have good vehicles that dictate or demonstrate who they are in a cool way. I think that's due to the art. So yeah, when we blow things all the way out, it's still pretty easy to tell who people are. Good color work there in that regard too. Everybody having their kind of unique colors that they're kind of tasked with. It's probably best on display here when we can clearly delineate who's still a racer that we should care about and who's one of these RoboWorld fuckers. Moving on here, we have the music. I don't have much to say about the music. All I want to do is shout out Redline Day as the best worst song I've ever heard. The guy can't sing. He can't sing. He can't sing at all. I love it. I can't stop listening to this song. Spoiler alert, the entire time I spent writing these notes last night, I was listening to Redline Day the entire time. I'm listening to it even now. I just love it. I immediately added it to my Spotify. It's going to be a cheese classic that I'm going to love forever. And again, that speaks to my musical taste or potentially lack thereof, I think. But again, other than that, don't have much to say. A few good techno bangers and some good racing music, good thumping stuff. A few good slower tracks. James Shimoji, I think he did a good job. Shoutouts to that guy. What did it all mean? I think I've been alluding to this a little bit, but I don't really have much here about what it all meant, because did it all mean anything? Not really, in my opinion. I think it's just meant to be... It's animation for animation's sake in a lot of it. But I still think that's a noble cause to be making a film, I think. This underperformed at the box office. I think people are stupid. Also, timing-wise, if this is 2010-ish, not exactly a great time to be an anime movie. You kind of got some Hosoda stuff doing decently at this time. Other than that, not great, I'm gonna say. You're definitely not getting that kind of 2010s-y bump that anime got as it gradually kind of picked up steam during that decade, I guess. But again, even relative to projections, people still just didn't want to see this. And I think you're caught between a rock and a hard place. This thing's a hard sell to the masses, I guess. It's not a particularly good story or groundbreaking story, and it's very, very tropey and indebted to classics of the past. It's basically made for fucking anime nerds like me to like, more than anything else. It's not going to change anyone's mind on anything, I guess. It's either you like it, or you already know that you don't like it. I'm going to imagine that Madhouse is probably sick of producing this thing, considering how long it took to make as well, and potentially didn't push that marketing as much as they should have. Again, I even now had hardly heard about this thing. It seems like it's been sufficiently buried, almost. Next point, I see a lot of Interstellar 5555 in this. If you didn't know, that's the Daft Punk movie. Again, something about the art design and the music and the techno music in combination with a lot of momentum. In general, this general broad, grimier sci-fi plot that kind of has this income inequality kind of bend to it as well. Showbiz connection. Yeah, see a lot of similarities there for sure. I'm not saying that one's aping from the other, of course, but just food for thought, maybe. I don't know, I just wrote it down. I already spoke about why did Sonoshi have no top off in that one scene. Again, I think we're trying to say something genre-wise there too, potentially as well. I think that's what I was alluding to here. I saw somebody on Reddit call this thing a roller coaster, but use roller coaster as a derogatory term. I still think roller coasters are fun, damn it. So again, their point goes, hey, roller coasters are like, hey, you see people go on the roller coaster, you think, hey, that seems like a good time. We're going to say that this is akin to Yellow Line in the film, like the intro, right? Okay, I want to do another one of those. I want to go on one of those, a bigger one, and have all the context and all that kind of stuff, right? And then you just wait in line, and you wait in line, and you wait in line. And that's what they're classifying this kind of middle portion of the film, waiting in line, right? Because they're kind of, I talked about it in the moment, there's kind of no action from here to like here almost, here. Or little to no action, I guess. That's a good 50-minute chunk. Now again, I'm going to have to ask, if you think this way about movies, why do you watch any movies? A lot of calling it waiting in line is disregarding how much good stuff there is in this section of the movie, I guess. And then I think the roller coaster itself's great at the very end. Like, look at all the fucking carts go on the roller coaster. It's fantastic. So again, I reject the premise. I think that roller coasters are fun. And yeah, from here on in, this is all pretty artificial, but a lot of it's kind of jumps in logic. It's not particularly good, but we're going to give this thing some legitimate analysis, just try to see if we can see any trends or anything within it. Take this with a grain of salt. This is me putting on my super mega critic hat and not really what I like the movie for, I guess. So first and foremost, we've got JP's character arc, Sonoshi's motivations, Frisbee's change of heart, many of the one-note personalities of the rest of the cast, and the eventual defeat of both the mob boss, and I was going to say Robo World, but I go into that later, of the mob boss, probably points to an anti-capitalist message, or at least anti-late-stage capitalism, right? Billionaires suck. especially seedy black market billionaires like the mob boss guy. JP moves away from idolizing this kind of person to idolizing somebody like Sonoshi. Sonoshi's always been pure of heart in her motivations and cannot be swayed either way. We have Frisbee's change of heart, again very similar to JP's, just kind of them uniting on that one thing and embracing their kind of childhood together. Frisbee moving away from his need for money and so forth, coming through for his friend in the very end. Many of the one-note personalities, like we have literally both a cop and a robber, both kind of in the same race. Isn't that kind of fucked up and weird? We have the two like pop star people, super boins, using this to promote their single and their stupid dance and whatever. Like, isn't that kind of dystopian and fucked up and weird? Like, the criminality of everybody involved, I guess, is the point here, right? Where it doesn't matter the ethics of the races, what matters is they can race good. And again, that's a pure market economy. There's no there's no barriers to entry. Anybody can just kind of do their thing. But again, the movie also kind of embraces that as well, because we've got Shinkai and Trava versus Dezuna, who's this kind of military fuck. So he's very much in line with that kind of stuff, where the other two are a little bit more profit hungry, like who's in the right there. But again, if I was to say a general message for the film, it's to embrace one's own personal passions in the face of pure profit motive. Tetsujin's expensive ass car didn't win. Instead, it was a combination of JP's fabulous hair and the nitro from Sonoshi's dad. It wasn't, excess. It wasn't having the best gear. It was having the most heart and embracing yourself and your own personal passions and your family and their traditions and all that kind of stuff that eventually got us over the line. That's what I guess I'm meaning to mean with this entire point. I've already talked about the very end of the film, but I think it very much reinforces this kind of stuff, right? The main couple, divorced from all the speed of the film and all the nonsense and the chaos and everything, right? They just fly off up into the air in their own little space, embracing, everybody else basking in the afterglow of everything, right? The word climax has never felt more apt. It's just, you're just sitting there in euphoria, based euphoria, right there at the very end. And again, they're further off the ground, away from the wheels on the ground versus hovercar kind of concept that the movie was playing with as well. We're further off the ground when we embrace each other and our own personal passions as opposed to selfish motivations, right? That's when we feel at our most euphoric and our most at peace, is when we're together and doing it for the hell of it, man, and not all the accolades that come with it. Further towards this kind of anti-capitalism, profit motive kind of stuff, right? JP's character design is very important in that regard. He's clearly aping from a classic Yakuza type design. His move towards criminal activity and throwing races is mostly due to a socio-economic circumstance. He is from a poorer family. He wants to be rich. He wouldn't have to be like this if it wasn't for the way that the world is in this world. Right? It's casting judgment upon it, I guess, that he has to do these kind of things from his upbringing and criminal past and all that kind of thing. He's kind of been thrown into that system without his choice. This is where we get really stretchy, so bear with me. The presence of a demilitarized zone, as well as some of the iconography of RoboWorld Planet, is probably pointing to some kind of Soviet Union, maybe Nazism type thing. So find me some fucking RoboWorld doofuses. They've got this fucking symbol on their arms, right? Now squint at it. Does it not look like a certain other symbol, potentially? Potentially, right? I'm also talking about a demilitarized zone in so much as like a East versus West Germany, or even potentially like a North versus South Korea type deal, right? Huge swaths of Eastern Europe as well in that regard too, considering world history. Like a scared local populace with larger, more powerful powers that are kind of hiding and coveting secrets and that kind of thing, intervening and throwing their weight around and whatever. The giant hidden kaiju weapon, we must remember something like a Godzilla. Godzilla is a metaphor for the atomic bomb in a lot of ways, right? So having a hidden kaiju somewhere that we don't want anybody to see, that we're willing to, break certain conventions to do so, to hide that kind of stuff, screams Cold War to me, very, very much so. That would also befit kind of this 80s type aesthetic that a lot of the film has, this kind of 80s or popular in the 80s type sci-fi. Think your Star Wars here, think your, Dunes and whatnot. Whatever that kind of structure that we're parodying is, we still have this working class that is ultimately rebelling and not agreeing with the government itself, often going to gamble underground and, be near-dwells and whatnot. throw riots, fight the military police, all that kind of stuff, right? And again, I don't think the movie really goes anywhere with any of this stuff in any huge way. I think other than casting judgment at it and saying that peace and love and hippie type magical fantasy stuff is better, which I'll talk about here in a moment as well, through the character of the princess, like her ultimately splitting this robo-world government in two and destroying it and running their own guerrilla-style race. I think there's something in that. I also meant to mention this from before, kind of having like a sporting event and that sporting event being interrupted by political reasons and whatever, right? You can't put on your race here because we're hiding XYZ, or we don't want people from XYZ in our country. They could be potentially spies. Again, very much a Cold War thing. Investigate many Olympic ceremonies during that time if you wanted to see that kind of stuff. Very fascinating kind of rabbit hole to go down. I think there's something here with all the different space races present too. Pardon the pun, I'm talking about the different races of beings. Look at RoboWorld, sees conformity, a lot of white dudes in that room. So if I get their like bridge type situation here, yeah, this kind of thing, right? It's all like the same guy on screen. That are all like evil and snotty and talking over each other. It's not particularly flattering. Contrast that with the races of Redline, and you'll see a lot more diversity, right? A lot more diversity in general, something that the film is advocating towards. Again, think to those ending shots of the film. These two alien fuckers having a great time. We got like a robo dude and like a bunch of like magic fucking Superboy people and a couple other humans over here, and everyone's celebrating and having a good time and whatever. Would you rather have this with all the color and the different people and everything, or would you rather have that dingy old fucking strategy room that they have for RoboWorld? I think I know where the film lands on that kind of stuff. Also, the diversity of the scared alien dudes when we first drop into the zone. That's why they're so cagey about outsiders coming into this kind of community. They've probably been annoyed and threatened and whatever else by RoboWorld, so that kind of ties into it, I think, in a cool way. Again, the film embraces all of these sides in attaining victory, I think. So she's called Princess Supergrass. I kind of went into this a little bit already. We've got a theme of fantasy, free-thinking, peace, love, and magic against, you know, cold, logical, dull, grey RoboWorld. I think that's very purposeful. I'm thinking about the text in this regard upon the very end of the film that just says love in a very Austin Powers-y kind of way. Again, invoking a little bit of that hippie-type spirit to it, I think. Again, magic wins the day and shatters the Robo Empire. I think the ending of the film is meta in this regard. Now, bear with me. I think the film knows that it has too many plot points going on and that it's set up too much stuff, right? So I think what they do is disregard all that logical thinking and go for a magical peace and love ending that is in fitting with the rest of the themes of the film in almost kind of a meta way, dropping all those logical storylines and all that logical story structure for something that's a little bit more free form, again, in fitting with what the movie is meant to be saying overall, I think. Again, magic's cool, doing psychedelic drugs is cool, and peace and love and stuff. That's what it's about in the very end, I think. Again, that whole segment probably jumped the shark for you a little bit, but shut up, you loved it. Anyway, this thing is clearly indebted to the classics, and I'm not even going to be able to say all the references that it goes for, but here's a few that I thought of off the top of my head. First one is Speed Racer, not just Speed Racer, you know, the original from the 60s or 70s or something. I'm talking even the Wachowskis' Speed Racer, which came out relatively close to this. Just this kind of larger-than-life race-type movie that's very over the top and very anime. The classic one is Wacky Races as well. Classic animated film, probably has a lot of influence even over in Japan and the East. It's literally about a group of wacky races, is Redline, right? It's a bunch of freaks just racing around. It's literally like the same thing. I was reminded a lot of that kind of 90s grimy anime sci-fi type aesthetic. I'm talking Trigun, I'm talking Cowboy Bebop, especially with these kind of smooth talking, likable main characters. Definitely a point of interest for that kind of stuff. Shinichiro Watanabe type beat, I think, right? And again, a lot of that kind of sci-fi stuff is pulling from Star Wars, in my opinion. In their kind of world design, I guess I would clarify too. Clearly, we're aping somewhat from the Gainax Trigger playbook, I think. I think we have a lot of people that have worked on, or with Gainax, and eventually went on to work with Trigger that have worked on this. I think you can see a lot of the lineage there. You would say these kind of larger-than-life anime that are often in the mecha sci-fi vehicle-type genre, thinking your Gurren Lagans, thinking your Fooly Coolies here at some points, thinking your Gunbuster, thinking all that kind of stuff. Even after the fact, after this came out, you've got all of Trigger's stuff, which I think, you know, lends itself to this at least somewhat. And again, I know that JoJo didn't have its David production adaptation yet in 2009, but JoJo the manga was definitely a thing. So again, you got this broad magical theme and these dudes with pompadours and all that kind of stuff, right? And you know, they're racing around in cool cars and whatnot. I don't know, that's kind of JoJo's, at least a little bit. A little bit. So I see a little bit of influence there, I think. Review, I don't even have much logical thought. I just love this shit, man. I thought it was fucking cool. I want to show all my friends how cool this thing is. That's where I land on it. And I'll give you a hypothetical, right? You have two paths in front of you. Think about these paths. You can be lame. You could say that the story's kind of whatever, right? And isn't groundbreaking, and that the characters are kind of cliche, and the ending doesn't go anywhere, and it's kind of nothing, and none of it really meant anything, and it's just kind of noise and chaos on screen. Or you could be cool and say, cool car, explosion, yes, I love explosion, cool car, yum, yum, good. You could be that person instead. I prefer the latter. I prefer being that kind of person in general, especially when it comes to this film, right? I think it sells it. I think this movie feels like a blank check movie. I don't know if this shit's blank check or blank check. Check would make more sense to me, but I don't know. What's a blank check? Anyway, whatever. Get me off Urban Dictionary. What the hell? Anyway, it seems like, hey, we're just going to give you infinite money, make whatever you want, we don't care what happens. It feels like that kind of thing, right? And I love those kind of movies. I really do. So, pure passion project with no consideration for what will appeal to the masses, I guess. They just made what they wanted to make, and I think that's rad. So yes, this comes with a wholehearted recommendation, especially if you love classic anime, you love car stuff, you love Gynax/Trigger type beat, you love big, over-the-top, stupid stuff, you love the song Redline Day, all that kind of stuff. If you just want a good time, watch Redline. That's my glowing endorsement, I guess I would say. So yeah, we'll close it out there. That's what I thought. And yeah, next week we'll close out the movies with Millennium Actress. If you're watching this on YouTube, publicly, hey, there's probably a poll on the channel in the aftermath of Millennium Actress. So consider looking on the channel for said poll. There will be something to vote on to replace this movie slot. We're going to cease doing movies after Millennium Actress, at least for a little bit. But this was really fun. Loved my time here today. Shoutouts to Redline. Great film. Let's get out of here. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys later. Like, subscribe, Patreon, all that kind of jazz. Thanks. Catch you later.